rotate device back. Oh, that's awesome. It always tells me to rotate the device back. So we're going to rotate the device back. How's that? All right. Anyways, here we go. So last night I had a dream, vision, whatever you'd like to call it. The Lord gave me something very interesting. When I woke up this morning from last night, it was still basically in my mind because I've been thinking about it all day. So basically, if I hold up this, you would say what? It's full, correct? So if I hold up this, you would still say there's stuff on it. So to make this real short, I'm just going to go here. So if you hold this up, we could all agree that it's a blank page, correct? So basically what he gave me, the world, sinners, everybody is getting a blank page. So we get a fresh start, which makes sense because it's Jerusalem and Israel, the Jewish nation. Today's the beginning of their new year. So it makes sense. So the question is, how do we keep it? The repentance, going to this, we're getting a total fresh start. And he also said that, I seen the thing of Lucifer coming forth, pleading his case, basically. When is it my time? It's my time. And God said this, the Father. That's what I heard him say. You may not give any more things to your followers. Which means, you look at all this corrupted music industry, you look at the Hollywood. I mean, we can go down the list. We've seen the Diddy case unfold. We've seen all the corrupted people that was in that. So now you just start looking at it and going, But he also said, my people shall be blessed, favor, the true followers of him. Which is going to cause chaos. It's going to cause greed. It's going to cause jealousy and a lot of other things with it. I also seen exposure. I seen exposure through the Capitol building, the Senate, Congress, all the way down. I seen many things being shown on misuse of money, Social Security, the COVID money, FEMA money, and a lot of things. And there's going to be a lot of people losing their jobs over this. It just amazes me how all these shootings, the good news I seen today, one of the girls in that Catholic thing, she got shot in the head, but she's doing really well. And praise God to be, for that, give him the glory. She's definitely going to do something for God. I guarantee it, for as long as God tarries. And I know we're in the week of the 23rd, 24th, 25th. I think tomorrow's the last day of what people were calling for the rapture. Again, don't be discouraged. I know a lot of people. I mean, I've been listening to a lot of people's channels and listening to people send emails and stuff and goes, man, how can this not be, when people were saying they were fasting on this and the Lord told them this and going down there, and it blows my mind that, and all I could say was, I hope these people were right. I hope they weren't just jumping on a bandwagon, because it was like the 3 day of darkness. You guys remember when all that stuff went around? And I'm not saying it's not coming. I mean, a lot of people that have very popular channels and stuff said the same thing. And the only thing I said, we gave the information. That was it. Pray on it. That's what I tell everybody. Pray on it. I never got any confirmation. I mean, I didn't really pray on it because I know to be ready. So if I'm ready, I don't have to worry about what anybody says about the coming of Christ. And that's the whole thing, to be ready. That's what we need. That's where we need to be. We look at all this hatred. We look at all this murders. And I mean, look at the girl that pulled up. I think she was in her 30s. She pulled up Three guys were trying to break in her house, and she seen it on a door cam thing. Pulls up in her Jeep, and they just open fire on it. There was no need. I mean, if you watch that video, there was no need in them ever doing that. They could have got away. They could have got away without having to kill her. It's just everywhere you look, there's somebody getting shot, somebody getting stabbed, somebody something. And you know, we talked about the signs, we talked about the blood moon, we talk about the earth. I mean, the sun turning black. Yes, we had solar eclipses, we had everything. Everything was lined up. It wouldn't surprise me if Jesus didn't come. I agree with. There's nothing I disagree with. And so many people are saying, well, the Bible says no man should know the day or an hour. Okay, well, I also gave an example. What if it was God speaking to them? Clearly, they said Jesus Christ, and I agree with that. But a lot of people also think that God is Jesus. They're the same. Yes, I'm not saying that. He poured his spirit out into Jesus, but God was not made in human flesh into Jesus. I'm sorry, the Bible never says that anywhere in there. So how in the world does people still believe that? I don't know. You can believe what you want. You'll all find out when you get to heaven or you get to hell. Either way, you're still going to find out. And so there's some things that I don't even go that far with because it's just, I hate to say it like this, but it's a waste of time. Let's just agree to disagree, and let's just keep moving forward. The events, you know, you look at the UN thing with Donald Trump, and if you looked around there, and every time he was talking to somebody there, I mean, some of them didn't look so happy, and some of them was just smiling like, yeah, whatever. It's not going to change an event. What Donald Trump was saying to them was not going to. It's not going to change how they continue on with their business. If anything, it's going to bring in lawlessness. If anything, it's going to bring in more war. The Lord spoke to me a long time ago, a couple years back, and every year he speaks it. You will see devastation on the United States. You will see these things happening. Well, you start looking at what's going on, people. Look at the shootings, look at the stabbings, look at the drug cartel over here. You just look at all the things that are here. What do you need for war? I mean, do you need to see planes flying over and dropping bombs? Do you need to see soldiers fighting soldiers? I mean, is that what your idea of war is? No, I think any kind of attack on us, to me, is war. And we've been losing the drug war for a long time. We've been losing the um, sex trafficking for years. But you know why? Because it's never hit your home. But as soon as it hits your home, then people want to start doing something. Just like all this transgender stuff. Soon, then somebody wants to do something. Why do we even allow this stuff is beyond me. I mean, it's totally beyond me. I've always said, so many people come over here from foreign countries and then they want to try to change our country. And I'm totally right with sending them back myself, because we don't go to them how to change their country or take down a flag because it's them or they're offended by it. When we doing these things, then you wonder why we start to drop and why we start to fail. You know, Repentance is probably the most important thing we got right now. And trying to change our lives, we can only change our lives when we have that connection with God and Jesus. You can't allow hate to control you. You can't allow the world to control you. You can't, road rage is a thing now that is totally out of hand. People are getting out of cars, shooting up cars now, taking ball bats to stuff. I mean, people getting shot in the gas stations. It's just fear after fear after fear. A lot of people are saying, hey, Nelson, are you going to get a gun? I have no idea. I mean, I'm on the fence with it. Um, I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with protecting your household or protecting your family. Okay. But I would say this, and I wonder how many people would react to something first before you knew it was a fight or flight situation, I guess is a better way to put it. Because let me tell you something, the last thing you want to do, no matter what the situation is, if you're able to stop something, is to take someone's life. Unless you've actually watched somebody die in front of you, it's something that haunts you for a long time, whether it was self-defense or not self-defense. You know, so many people out here just get this effect of um, the demons just love murder. I mean, and that's all there is. It doesn't matter how you kill somebody, you just do it. Mud Shark, Cheech brother. Well, welcome back, Mud Shark. Welcome back. And again, Jimmy Buffett comes to mind. But you know, we have to be the witnesses. We have to be a witness for Christ, and that's what our number one main priority here is, to teach these people. Look how many people, just think about this. How many of you are starting to see where Charlie Kirk and now people are getting their own thing on, through the ministry work that they had? How many of you are starting to see these revivals and these people going onto the college campus, through their organization? But you think about these people that are going to receive Christ. How many churches do you know that even does, discipleship? We know what happened. As soon as you accept Christ, as soon as you are washed in the water, what happened to Jesus? He didn't have to accept himself, but he got washed, immediately was filled with the Spirit of God, which represents to us today when we are baptized in water under the name and authority of Jesus Christ. What happens? This is what happens. The Spirit pours on us, in us, and what happens? Jesus went out into the wilderness. So we know he was tempted. It doesn't say 40 days. Some people think he was tempted every day. It doesn't really quite say that. It just said he spent 40 days out there. And in the end, the angels come and uh, made him well, basically. Probably fed him water, whatever. Did Jesus need it? No, he could have healed himself. But it's the what comes from it, what we need, how we need to survive through things. You know what, Amber? Welcome. Glad to see you here. Hope everything's doing good. We're doing a lot of prayer for you, and um, day by day. That's all we can do, day by day. But I totally agree. Uh, it is intense. I just seen the other day farmland that was tore down, and again, solar panels and stuff. But think about this. Look who's making a lot of money. No, thank you, need it. Honestly, no, thank you, need it. Honestly, I was told that most of the solar panel equipment comes from Musk. I mean, how much bloody money does that guy need? You know, to change the world with somebody with that much money, and I'm talking millionaires and billionaires and some, you think about how much money do these people really need? How much, instead of putting all these space stations up there, do you guys realize anybody, anybody's watching this now or anybody's watching this later, um, uh, does anybody that's watching right now remember when I was talking about the underground cities, and you guys would hear about this underground city, and you will hear about these events that are taking place, and it's not going to be for us, it's going to be for the super wealthy of wealth people that are in this underground cities. And when I'm talking underground cities, I'm talking about everything that we can possibly do up here, restaurants, all that stuff. My thing is how are they going to produce the food? I'm sure the government, that with their, I guess it'd be no different than greenhousing and splicing DNA of vegetables, and because we got cauliflower and broccoli that are spliced together, we got apples. Anybody remember when you went to the store at one time and you only had like one or like anywhere from up to three items of the same thing, like a box of cereal, like you didn't have 17 different varieties of Cocoa Pebbles, basically. Now we got this and this brand of this brand of this, and it's intense. You walk down the aisle and you get exhausted just trying to figure out what to get. The chip aisle, you look at snacks, you look at the food aisles. I mean, the canned goods. I mean, I can go down the list. I'm sure you guys are getting where I'm going with this. It never used to be like that. You go over to where the apples are, and it's exhausting just looking at all those apples. My laundry room door just opened. Well, all right then. Um, if it hasn't like it just happened, this stuff's been going on slow but sure, and now they're coming against the seafood and don't eat seafood because of the water, and there's bacteria and stuff in there that's causing people to die from certain oceans. I mean, certain beaches and all that stuff. Well, I mean, look at all the garbage and literally garbage that these other countries are flushing out into the oceans. Look at all the dump out that has been in these oceans. It wouldn't surprise me that I remember when the Lord told me that you would see the wildlife, and you would see the animals in the water becoming sick and dying off. Same as would people would be poisoned by water. We all know that anything with water, air, it's kind of like us. How do you stop somebody? Sight and breathing. It's that simple. Somebody can't see, they can't attack you. Someone can't breathe, they can't attack you. Are you gonna take a chance? Um, you better be very good. I always say that if somebody pulls a gun, they better be ready to use it, because somebody's most likely can pull that gun away if they're experienced enough to do it. These days, these people are just going to shoot you. I mean, that's just how it is. I mean, there's no in between it. I mean, uh, we see so much coming down the line right now. It is enough to put fear in you. I mean, there's no way that fear doesn't start to come quickly. But here's the thing: we got to back up, because fear is a liar. You know, if we're willing to truly lay our lives down for Jesus and not be Peter and deny him, what do we have to fear? I mean, are we living to go home? Are we living for the world? Because honestly, I've heard it all. I've heard people say they want to see their kids grow up. I want to see my grandchildren become this or that or accomplish this. Uh, I don't know. I guess I'm the wrong person to ask that kind of question, because different family lives. I'm sure some of you have very close families, and I'm sure some of you probably really feel that way. I had a close connection with my children when they were growing up. After they got older and started making their own decisions in life, it doesn't agree with mine. And I'm not saying that I don't love my children. I'm not saying I don't love people. I'm just saying I personally anymore. I'm okay if I went to the Castaway Island where Tom Hanks was on Castaway, and stayed there the rest of my life. I could learn to live on coconut the rest of my life if I had to. I can make a fire eventually. I mean, yeah, it might take me about a year to make it. I might die of not having water, and I might have to eat crab, and then I get sick meat in the crab. Maybe that the island over there doesn't have poisonous stuff. Maybe it's got a poisonous snake, and I'll just eat it and end it, and I'm done. I wonder how many people going, okay, I'm done. I'm leaving this channel. This guy's finally lost it. No, seriously. You got to be willing to give it all to God. You got to be willing to live all under His hands and through Jesus. I can tell you, I have never went wrong following Jesus. I can honestly say that. And I wouldn't even have to see Him. I believed because things don't make sense. Things happen that don't make sense. Doors were opened that should never have been opened for me. And I know that sure is not Satan. And I know it's not Lucifer going in there and grabbing coconuts. Man, let's eat. Heck yeah, man. We just, and now if there's a couple banana trees on there, man, we could be doing good. Man, we could be living. We could be living there for a long time. Just sitting there. Think about it. You know, we played a game once, and it was it was at Christmas time, and it was it was for gifts and stuff like that, and but the game was five things. Okay, five things, and you knew you were going to this island, and you were going to be left there, kind of like these reality TV shows. But before the reality TV shows become reality TV shows, we were doing this. So you knew you were going to go there, and see, if I had connections, I wouldn't be doing these videos right now. I'd be doing Hollywood, living in a mansion by the beach and having margaritas, singing Jimmy Buffett songs with my brother-in-law Mud Shark down here. Well, maybe not the margaritas, but sounded good at the moment because that's a song that comes to my head. But where was I at? Oh, the thing. Five items. Five items. What would you take? Now, can't take a gun. That was part of the rules. You could take rope, a knife. Five items. That's it. Today on alone and on things, they're allowed to take 10 items. But you could take five items. What five items would you take? No weapons, no gasoline, no lighters. You had to take five items. I agree. That's crucial because I would never go cuckoo for something to do. But you were stuck there for a year, so don't waste it on on a raft or something like that because you're stuck there. That's the whole deal. So when I come back on, what's tomorrow? Thursday? If you guys are on tomorrow, unless some of you want to give me your five answers right now, I could tell you my five answers. Uh, my five answers would be this: Bible, starter flint. You guys know them survivalist knives that comes with the compass and the hooks and all that stuff down in there. I'd bring that. I would bring waterproof clothing. I'd bring a digging shovel. That's what I bring. The multi shovel that I have, it kind of got a sharp edge on it. Where I could use it for like an axe to split stuff. And the knife, it's got string, it's got hooks in it, it's got matches. But I wouldn't be able to bring the matches. But I wouldn't really care because that's what the starter stone's for. Um, the waterproof clothing is very important because they also keep you warm. The ones that I got when I used to do landscaping and stuff and snow removal and all that. They're insulated, but they're waterproof. They're kind of warm and keeps you dry. So that's exactly what I would take out there. And the reason being because uh, depends on where you're at. I don't you wouldn't know the temperatures, you wouldn't know any of that. But the thing of it is, the idea is to dig down, dig deeper, and build your foundation into the ground because the heat and stuff. And I'd build me a hole off of that, which generates. I'd make it to where the fire that I built would basically tunnel in the heat into the underground part. Anyways, I would I, I I could survive just on those 5 items, and it's kind of difficult, isn't it? I mean, isn't it really kind of difficult to think what you would take? But in reality, we really wouldn't really have to take any of that because if we're following Jesus, you don't think he would send fire? You don't think? I mean, look, you don't think he could send? The idea is to prepare yourself. How many people are out here? I ran into a video where this guy showed a locker unit. A locker, you like a storage place? He's got 3 storage units. They're 10 by 10, he said, full of these buckets that he's been buying off of TV and making his own. 10 by 10. I'm thinking in my head going, all right, buddy, let's just think about this for a split moment here. How long do you think it's going to take before somebody breaks into them places and ravages through them things? How long do you think it's going to take for somebody to follow you that you, because you're eating, especially if the government's in control of all this? I mean, it just doesn't make sense to me. How many of these people out here are teaching people to survive through these survival shows that they're doing on here? And I'm thinking in my head going, I'm not calling it nonsense. I'm just saying that it's ridiculous. Because you've seen how far these people can shoot. You might as well, it's like being in the desert at night when you build a fire or you're smoking a cigarette. I guarantee it in war, when you're in the jungles and all that, I guarantee it, there was no soldiers in the middle of the night lighting up a cigarette and holding that sucker by their mouths. You know why? Because that what they call the cherry of the cigarette, that thing, when that heated up, right in their head, they're dead. They would have died. You don't see people teaching you about that on them survival shows, do you? There's so much. Man, um, you make a good point about the toothbrush. But no, wait. Would toothpaste be a separate item than that? I mean, what if we took like uh something from the coconut? I mean, if we like, never mind. I'm gonna sit here and think about ways to brush my teeth now on an island. But I mean, eventually you run out of toothpaste. Hmm. Lipstick would probably be pretty easy to smuggle in, but how are you gonna see to put it on? A mirror, stand in the water. Come on, Amber, you'd be like, hmm. Okay, let's go on. What about soap? How are you gonna take on? Oh no, this is going bad. But you see what I mean? When you start thinking about it, it's like in reality, in real life, here, we need Jesus. We need. I'm gonna be sitting there thinking about lipstick and toothpaste now. We need, we need Jesus. You know, this world is not going to get Well, I don't know if we could take food, but yeah, but it lasts on the shelves. I mean, that's one of the items that you could actually put in your bucket that would actually make it. But somebody's hungry enough and they're scavenging through there, and they see smoke, because everybody's like, well, I got a fireplace. I can make a fire at night and cook food. Okay, you don't think that smell is going to go outside? You don't think the government, I'm talking about the time when you're starting to take the chip. It's free for all people. These people are going to break through your houses, and I don't care what arsenal you think you have. Eventually, you're not talking about one person coming. You're talking a group of people coming at you at once. But you know, you think about these pyramids. I know I don't like to talk about the pyramids too much because it goes into different areas of things, and I'm really not up to the mood to get into a debate on the spiritual realm. I'm just trying to do a thought video for you guys to be on the same page with me here. You don't have to be, but I'm just saying, hopefully it's making your mind start to think here a little bit. What ifs type situations. Doesn't mean we can't be prepared, but I'm not sure enough, I'm not preparing for the end times. I refuse to do that because I don't want to be here. I sure do not want to be here at the end of this nonsense of what this world is becoming. Brandon, just tuning in. I sent you an email, brother. They were things. All right, I'll read. I've actually got a few emails to read. If I don't get to it before nightfall, I mean, I'm sure I'll have time here in a little bit. If not, I'll get into it tomorrow. Um, but you think about the pyramids, you think about the underground stuff that's there. I mean, I spoke of the tunnels way before these tunnels even became public, because these tunnels are everywhere. I mean, these tunnels actually go. These tunnels also goes into bodies of water. Why do we got to have it there? Because I'm convinced, people, and I'm not saying the Lord sent me any of this. I'm convinced that they're using some kind of submarine system to bring people under when all this sex trafficking is going on. That's why we're not seeing a lot of it above, because they're doing it in water and bringing them into these islands. It's kind of like like when you go when the jets are flying up there and they bring the fuel jets into the choppers and all that stuff. I believe it's in a vacuum sealed tubing thing that they've created. Look what we do in space. Is it not possible? Yeah, it's very possible. Is it? Am I just drawing straws here? No, I think there's more to underground than what we know. You look at the space stations and all that stuff going on up here. You look at the space travels they're doing now. I wouldn't be surprised if they're developing stuff on other planets. And you know, I if that's the case, and if this does come out, then are we getting ready for nuclear? Because they're going to take off out of here. You know, we're allowing Musk to use this SpaceX stuff to go up in the sky anytime he wants. Why is he bringing? Why is he allowed to bring stuff back to Earth just to show that whatever reason that I don't get into a lot of stuff with Musk because um, I don't trust anything that's electrical. I don't trust any of it. I mean, I think it's all control. Interesting. Uh, um, but I'm not coming against Musk. I'm just saying. I mean, I just don't. I don't put a lot of faith in what he's capable of doing. When you start controlling a lot of space and electrical, and I mean, look, he was selling his own home solar stuff, and true, you could sell a lot of it back to your your electrical, whoever provides your electricity, you could sell back to them any unused electric that you didn't use and sell it to them, and you're basically paying him off, and you won't ever have an electric bill. Okay, but um, do you really want to trust? I mean, I guess there's two ways to look at it. First way, we can't stop them from turning off our electric. Think about it. No matter what you say, you can't stop it. Because if you don't pay your bill, what happens? They turn it off. If Musk controlled the electric through solar, what's stopping him from turning it off? Do you guys realize your home security system, your door dashes, I mean not door dashes, your door alarms like Ring and all that stuff, your security systems that you inside. Some of you got the boxes and stuff, and you got cameras all around your property and stuff. You do realize that they can turn those things on, right? Anybody got like what's it called, ADT or something like that? You do realize there's codes and stuff that they can hack into and turn those on. Think about it. It happens. I know a guy that installed satellites. My brother, I sent you an email yesterday. Okay, I'm gonna usually on Thursdays afternoon. I try to do it today, but I had to go to the doctors and stuff, and so I didn't really have a lot of time to do much of anything. And again, I tell you what, I just I don't know what's going on, but I really do not even feel like getting out of bed in the morning now. But I definitely will get to him, and I definitely will answer him. If I don't answer him tonight, look for it probably late. It'll be sometime either tonight or your early morning, depending on where you're at. Um, so, anyways, where was I at? Lost my train of thought. But anyways, you know, you have to. We get to a point in life where we're know that all this has a reason. Whether we're, I guess the better way to put it, a lot of people say, why would God do this? And I used to be like that. Tell me why your God would allow things like this. He is the most horrible person in the world that you guys could praise and worship songs and devote your life to for somebody that causes and allows so much pain and suffering on this earth. People to be raped, people to be killed, people to be suffer without food and water and all these things. Well, then when you start learning about free will, you start learning about what God gave us, sacrifice of his son. You start eating that humble pie real quick. And I look at life a lot different today than I did years ago. I look at today as a gift. You realize every day that you have is a gift. You realize if you're around a loved one, let's just say your spouse, okay? You realize that time that you have is a gift. You know, I remember leaving to go work, and knowingly there would be times 3 weeks, 4 weeks, depending on the company I was working for. I mean, I've stayed out 6, 7 weeks, sometimes 8 weeks without coming home. It could put a wedge real quick in your relationships. It can put so much space in between there, especially when you get into that loneliness of life and you get through there. But I've always been that loner anyways. I'm okay. I mean, do I not mind talking to people now? I mean, I can do these videos all night and day. You know, I can it it's right up my alley actually because I don't have to talk to people. I really don't have to do anything. All I got to do is present a way of thinking. I'm not telling anybody to take my word on anything, but all I'm saying is just listen to it. Take the Bible out, test it against the Bible. Don't go off the fact if you hear somebody say something, well, it doesn't happen. It hasn't happened yet. Well, then you got to listen to God's timing. I did the video on that too. You got to go into the point. You definitely know when you're separated from them. I mean, it doesn't take long to go into that area, and you know, somebody asked me once, and I don't know why, Brandon, that just sparked a thing in me, but somebody asked me once, how do you know that you're filled with the Spirit? How do you know that you're devoted to Jesus and not it's not a trickery or a scheme thing of Satan or Lucifer? And I said, well, here's the thing. The best way that I can describe it is this. When I was a sinner, I didn't care. I mean, I didn't have emotions. I didn't have, I mean, I did to a point. I mean, I never, sometimes I would go, that's probably the wrong way to do it, but oh well. Uh, I would still help people out. And my thing was, I mean, I testified on these videos. I would tell people that look at that old couple that had a flat tire on the side of the road, and I stopped in the rain, walked up there, tapped on there, said, "I'm not here to harm you." We didn't have cell phones and stuff back then. I said, "I'll just get out, open your trunk, get back in the car, give me the key. I'll open your trunk, I'll get your stuff out, and first time I hear a thank you out of you, I'm leaving. I'll leave that car jacked up. I'll leave your tire the where it is, and I leave. No thank you. Not even when I'm done. Don't want to hear it." And that was my attitude towards helping people because I didn't want to hear anything from people. I honestly, if it probably would have been a sunny day, I still would have stopped. It was old people. I mean, I've took people to gas stations. I told them the same thing. Don't not one thank you. I would pull this car over, and that's it. Why? Because I didn't need that in life. I still don't need it. To help somebody is to help them because you want to, not because you're owed something or need something. We should be helping people. We should be going into that. What did I miss? When I lived in Montana, ooh, it's cold up there. The state was buzzing. Zuckerberg, Oprah. Huh. You know, that's interesting. Uh, you're right. You look at Amber. Here's another thing that probably kind of fit into that. You look at Hawaii, you look at the fires and stuff going on there. Why are they so quick in trying to, her and Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, WWE, WWF, whatever you want to call it, why are them two so busy trying to buy up Hawaii? I mean, what is going on with these places that all these people are gathering together? I mean, Dwayne Johnson isn't all what he seems. I mean, that guy is. I seen a thing between him and Vin Diesel that it's disgusting. I mean, that it's just where in the world do they go wrong? There's a little hearts. I tell you where it goes wrong. Pride. Look at the battle that all these movie action stars battle against each other. Anybody ever see the Expendables with Stallone? I think Stallone actually started those, and it had like every action figures, every action stars. Van Damme, I mean Arnold. You had Mel Gibson in one of them. You got the guy that played in the Crash thing, and I mean, it's like the world's biggest ego fest in the world. Yeah, pure evil. I don't disagree with that. But it's right under us. I mean, that's the thing. And I mean, literally right under these United States, somewhere, all the tunnels aren't exposed yet, but they're there. You look at the underground stuff that goes from these pyramids. Why do you think they shut the pyramids down now all of a sudden? I got my theory on the pyramids. I never really somebody asked me a long time ago, and I tried to go back through the videos, and sometimes I get lost in there because then I start talking to people on the older videos about stuff. Somebody asked me once to do the my thought on the pyramids, and I said, "Man, that's opening up Pandora's box." I mean, literally. Uh, do I believe in aliens? Yeah, Hollywood aliens. I believe in that. Um, I guess that's a two answer question. Yes, I'm an alien, and physically I'm an alien because I don't belong to this world. I belong into the kingdom of Christ. So I'm just a visitor here. Anything that is not from here is an alien. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. If I go into China, I'm an alien to that country. I'm not from country. I'm not from there. Why do you think we call people that come here illegal aliens? Because they're from somewhere else. You know, um, but if you mean like physical, uh, like aliens from another planet, then I would have to go to this. And here we go. I'd have to say, show me in the Bible where it speaks it. If God created aliens on another planet, then it's none of our business. If God created another Earth somewhere else in another solar system, it's none of our business. We don't need to know about it. It's not in the Bible. We don't need to know about it. And I guess that's the better way to solve that. And you start throwing the Bible up, and I guarantee you can have a room of 70 people, 70 people, and I guarantee it by the time one by one by one by one, people start walking out that door, you're going to be down to about 10. It sounds a little ridiculous, don't it? But it's true. It's true. I put stuff to the test all the time. I put stuff to the test. I was on another guy's channel. Uh, we kind of, because YouTube Live, I could actually go live here with a few different people that's on this channel. All I got to do is send you an invite, and if you wanted to talk, you could actually talk and be on this channel, which would, when it got published, people would see a debate or whatever. I don't like to use the word debate. I just like to use thoughts, because debates turns into arguments to me. And I'm not here to argue the Bible. I'm not here to convict you. I'm not here to convince you to accept Christ. Only you can do that. Only you can live by your flesh. You can live by your free will. You can live by Satan's rules. But just remember, God gets the glory in the end on everything. And you can't tell me that you can live a sinister life and you're going into heaven. I will come against that every night and day. I still say there's so many people that think that they're good, and that good state sweeps them straight into hell. Well, you basically walking yourself there. If you want to walk into hell, you go right on ahead. I recommend, if before you do that, I recommend you change your prayer life to this: Lord Jesus, the Son of God, I confess this to you and ask this in your name. Let me see hell and live a day there. How many is going to be willing to do that? A day. 24 hours. Measly 24 hours. You know, you're not going to have to worry about drinking anything. You're not going to have to worry about eating. You're not going to die of thirst. You're not going to die of hunger. 24 hours. But you're going to live with that for the rest of your life. That's the deal. The rest of your life, you're going to remember every single thing that happened there. And you're going to remember how it felt. But you won't come back with the pain, but you're going to remember how it felt when you were doing it. That means you're going to live your life, people. See, when God punishes, when the punishment comes, it's your own punishment. God's just going to they're just going to bind you and cast you out of hell, cast you straight back into hell. The dead that's already there, they're just going to right back to hell. Their punishment is what you've done in life. The things you've done to your body, the things you did to other people, the things that you blaspheme against God. I mean, all those things are going to replay in your head. Nothing good, because the good it's not going to matter, because you're not going to remember it. But you're going to be able to see the people in heaven. Oh, how grateful is that? I mean, you might sit there and go, well, this isn't, what kind of just is that? Well, what kind of just is your life? You know it. But you're willing to take that gamble. You're willing to put all your chips right here, one big pile, put them in there. You got $1 million worth of chips. You started off with $100. Instead of putting all those away and taking that $100 back out of that $1 million winning, you're willing to gamble it all. You're going to walk out losing, because the devil doesn't have to do anything but to convince you to push that pile of money into the middle. The devil don't have to convince you of doing anything, but I tell you what, he seems to get enough signatures. Hell gets bigger and bigger. Like I said, there's a fiery pit all the way around there. You're never going to make it through that fiery pit. Never. It's an eternity. How are you ever going to get through it? They're just going to drag you back, torture you, and let you go again. You'll get a fraction of it. Let me put it this way. If you was to take this whole earth, the whole earth, and you walk from all the way around the world, and God made it possible, you can walk all the way around the world. By the time you walked all the way around the world and come back to your start point, you wouldn't even have traveled a third of the way out of the blazing fire that you're going to have to try to go. And the furthermore you go in there, the hotter it gets. Your feet's going to be on fire. You're going to be burning. You're going to be screaming. You'd rather be tortured than try to make it through that fire. I guess it's the better way than I'm trying to say it. Still ain't enough to convince people. So I said, start praying that. The person I told the first time I told this to, they looked at me like I was crazy. Why in the world would I ever want to do that? Why in the world would you want to continue to be on your sin life, in your flesh life, in your free will of jacking yourself up to walk yourself in there? God isn't putting you there. You're putting yourself there. You're crazy, Nelson. Am I? Bye. What if we were walking together and you got to a point where you said, okay, this is as far as I go. Would you let me go? I can't stop you. You're already on that pathway anyways. What difference does it make? See, Jesus never leaves us, but he stops at a certain point. That's when your free will continues to make you travel and travel and travel. Anybody ever see the videos where the Y is in there and they got the cartoon things of people going to heaven, and it's like few people going to heaven, but the large amount of people going into hell? That's reality, people. There's no false about that. None. These people are still carrying on when they're walking into hell until they get to that part where it starts getting hot. That's when they start going, wait a minute. Wait, hold up. No. Just picture yourself like on a conveyor. There's no going backwards, people. That's it. Think about the people that's going to take them chips, the scan across their forehead that will eventually just disappear into your skin. It's starting to happen now. I actually seen a guy that had some app thing on his phone and scanned his hand, and it self-paid his bill. I was like, what in the world is that? He goes, oh, I got a chip. and it doesn't. So I scan the chip onto my phone, and then it pulls up the amount, and then I just scan it onto their scanner. Excuse me, you did what? I didn't even know this stuff existed. I know the RFID chip was getting more popular. I've seen people scan their eyes. I've seen on a vending machine at a pickup where I went to pick up a load once, and a guy walked over to the vending machine, scanned his hand, and that about blew my mind then. But I've also seen it in truck stops too. It's starting to become more popular. You know that little black box where they scanned your cards or whatever. It's starting to come more, or your phones. People are scanning their hands. It's becoming like the new chip on your card, on your bank cards and stuff, your credit cards. Slow but sure. I mean, they took it away whether we wanted it or not. I said, I don't want the chip card. Too bad. You got to have it. Too bad. So where does it end? It's crazy, isn't it? Because we lose because we're so busy during the day. Our days are over planned. We all know how big a dinner plate is, right? Just a regular plate. How many of you at the holidays? I mean, literally, just a regular dinner plate. How many of you at the holidays go to families or whatever, and you uh, have a family together, and everybody's getting food on their plates and stuff, and you're enjoying company and you're enjoying each other? But how many of you really overfill that plate? You know, because you want a little bit of everything, but you pile so much on there. I'm still guilty of it, and I'm in my own house. See, we do that daily. Don't even realize it that we're overdoing our day, and we don't really have enough room for that prayer time and that devotion time. And when we do this, we're telling God that that pen in our hand is better than the pen in His hand. When you're willing to give that pen back to God and give Him that blank sheet that He gave us today, the fresh start. If you're willing to let Him write your story, you're going to see your life change. You can't make excuses forever. You can, but you're going to have to put yourself at blame. You're going to have to own up to what you do as a person. Time is short. What if tomorrow? What if tonight? Because there's still people prophesying saying that Thursday will be the last night. So before midnight of Thursday night, this rapture's supposed to start place. But I don't know. I'm going off of what I've seen, and I'm not saying my way is right, but I'm going off of what I started this video off with. And I don't think it's time yet. I don't think it's time. That being said, God bless you guys. Uh, I'm not going to promise to do a prayer video tonight, but I'm definitely going to shoot for it. I just got to start getting down here before I get like super. Like last night, I was just exhausted. I mean, there was nothing left in me. Um, but Heather Gray, oh my goodness, how are you? Yep, I definitely will. I'd be willing to hop on live if you'd like. Oh yeah, I don't have no problem with that. Um, Let me figure it out. I'll do a test run and see how it goes. I got to figure it out honestly. Good. Now Heather, correct me if I'm wrong, because for some reason I always get you and another person mixed up. You're in Florida with the, I believe you had either two or three boys. Maybe. Yeah, I was in Florida, but I just moved to Michigan. That's right. Decided well, be careful in Michigan too. I don't know what part of Michigan you went to, but be careful. There's a lot of hatred up in Michigan right now. I mean, there's hatred everywhere, but I mean, don't let fear overtake you, at all. But just be cautious, I guess, is a better way. Let me tell you guys something before I jump off of here. If you're at a department store or grocery store or anywhere you're inside for a long period of time, okay? Doesn't matter what it is. Could be a job, could be anything. If you walk up and there is a styrofoam cup or plastic bottle or anything in your door handle, the driver's door, hear me out. Don't open that door. Go to the driver's side because most key fobs now open to your doors. Go in through the passenger side, crawl over the seat, start your car, and get out of there as fast as you can. If you're coming from the grocery stores or anything you're going to put in the back, let's just, your hatch or anything like that, SUVs, a trunk or anything like that, and you see something hooked to your wiper or anything like that, leave it alone. Look at your tires before you drive off. If you see a plastic bottle, just kind of glance. If you see a plastic pop bottle in there, leave it alone. Get in your car, drive off. You're already going to know what the sound is because you're going to run over this plastic bottle. You're going to hear a sound. You're automatically going to stop and go get out and check your car. And what they're doing is carjacking you or robbing you, whatever the situation is. Think about this because once you get out, you're not thinking about shutting that car off. You're not thinking about closing that door or anything like that. You're leaving the door open and getting out and hurrying up and looking, and they're already on you. Trust me, it'll save your life. And don't stop for people on the side of the road anymore. Just call 911 and just tell them, roll down the window a little bit and say, I'm calling 911, telling them where you're at. Watch how fast when you get down the road a little ways, how fast they get in their car and leave. If you can, try to get the license plate number and the make of the vehicle and a short description as much as you can. I know it's a lot, but if you're going slow enough, you can do it and let the cops know what it is. Because if they get up in that car and leave, it was a scam. They're going to do it to somebody. And they're either going to kidnap somebody or hurt somebody. It's you know things that even sex trafficking and all that kind of stuff. Being in the trucking industry, that's a lot of stuff that we would watch out for all the time. I mean, it's crazy. Um, I had an opportunity to, and I still regret, and I hope that girl got away. I had a girl. I was on the phone one night, and a girl walked up there, a young girl. I'm thinking, what is it? What is a girl like this doing in a truck stop, knocking on truck doors and stuff? And she walked up there, and I just waved her on, like, no, man, because first of all, them pimps ain't far away from there. They're watching. They're watching how many trucks these girls get into. And I wished I would have got out of the truck, walked her into there, because it would have been almost like going into an ATM to get money. You know what I'm saying? Walked her back out to my truck, and that time I would have had that opportunity. But you don't know if they got wires on. You don't know anything about this. You know, got her back into that truck and took off. That's what I should have done. The hell with my violations I would have took. If that girl, I wish I would have done that. I didn't do it. I didn't do it. I didn't want to be bothered. I didn't want to have to deal with, the prostitution stuff. I didn't want to have to deal with any of it. let alone a cop come knocking on my door or something. Well, you talked to la 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 la. Any of it. I just didn't want to do it, but I regret not doing something. I mean, there's a lot of things you can watch out for that we don't watch out for. Driving truck. I mean, I've picked up on a lot of things out there. I've called a lot of stuff in. Don't know if they ever caught them or not. I mean, anytime I've seen them walking around in the truck stop, and I could pinpoint their vehicles from a mile away, and I'd start looking at their license plate number and giving them the vehicle and everything. And all of a sudden, you see the cops come through with unmarked cars. I've actually watched some of them get busted, and some of the girls got. There's different vehicles came and picked up the girls. It was police vehicles. So hopefully they got turned loose, and it's not somebody that's just going to repeat. Hopefully it was people that were missing and got to go home. But pay attention to your vehicles. Pay attention very closely. Pay attention to anybody wandering around and look like they're lost in the parking lot looking for a car. Pay attention to your surroundings, people. I recommend you carry some mace with you. They got the keychain stuff. You can hook it right on your keychain. Stuff. Some of them goes up to, I think, 75 feet. I know it's an inconvenience, but here's another one. Don't put your kids in the car. I've been seeing this at Walmart more and more. Even when I was driving, I walked up to a lady and I stood there. I had my uniform and stuff on, so she could see that I was a driver. And I said, "Ma'am, I could have had your kids and been gone." She goes, "What do you mean?" I said, "Could have had your kids and been gone. By the time you walked over to that cart corral and come back, I could have had your kids in my car and gone. Do you understand? You left your car doors unlocked. You left your kids in the car. Unbelievable." And she goes, "You didn't even open my doors." I said, "Here's your purse. You can check it. There's nothing missing." She went, "Oh, wow." I said, that quick. You don't think about it. You just don't think about it. I mean, it's mind-boggling how they put their kids in the car first and then put their groceries. Some of them will just push their cart straight ahead. I mean, I'd rather you see to do that. I mean, sometimes I'm walking by and I ask, "Can I take your cart back?" But how many of us is so worried about ourselves than trying to protect somebody else? It's just a way to help each other out and keep us safe out here. It's going to take all of us. Don't take long, people, to do the right thing. And that's all I'm saying. Just keep an eye out. Whether what you can call 911 and be anonymous. I mean, they got your phone number. I mean, let's just face it. I mean, if they do need something, they can get a hold of you. People are sad how you don't lock your car doors, vehicle. Well, you're not thinking about it. I mean, you're thinking about, look, you just put your kids in there, you put your groceries in there, you're just going to run that shopping cart over, and you're going to hurry up and get back. It's not a common thought most of the time. It's like when you look for your car keys and they're gone, and all of a sudden you realize they're inside your car. You think that would be the first thing you start feeling for. Instead, people are looking for their cell phones. Where's your cell phone? In my hand. Where's your car key? In my car. I have my cell phone on. Well, okay. Well, now you can call the locksmith and they can come and open your door. That's great. That's great. But anyways, just a little wisdom there. So God bless you guys. Love you. Hopefully I can get on tonight. I'm gonna try to come down here about 8:30. Not guaranteeing nothing. It might be 9. It might be 9:30. But I'm definitely gonna do the prayer. God willing. And I just ask God to give me the strength to get there tonight. Thank you guys for all tuning in, and I got a couple things to do, and I'm going to start reading some emails and stuff. Bless you, brother. Love you. Love you too. Be safe, guys. Really. Just start Much love to you too, Brandon. You guys just start paying attention to things. I mean, uh, the only piece of advice I can give right now: don't let the enemy tell you that you're not important to God, because you are. No matter how much you failed, how much. Oh, that's what I was going to finish. The person asked me, how do I know that I have the Spirit? Because when I was a sinner, I never repented of anything. Now, when I do something wrong, I'm quick to repent. I'm quick, and I'm ashamed. I mean, I really am. There was the other night, I got so mad at something, and I just came downstairs, and I was just beyond myself, and I just started just crying, and I didn't even want to talk to God. I didn't even want to talk to Jesus. I just started repenting, and you know, I just felt the Lord's presence, and I was ashamed to be even in His presence, because I don't like to repent from the same things over and over. It's, to me, that's failure, and that's where the boxing and the fighting and all that stuff comes in. I don't like failure, and never have. And sure enough, I don't want to fail Him. Uh, I it's it's the most difficult thing in the world. I never thought in a million years. I mean, when I first started following Jesus and stuff, I didn't care how many times I repented for something. I didn't care. I started reading the Bible. I mean, I don't know how many times I just threw it on my nightstand and said, "This is crazy." You know, you expect me to believe all this stuff? I mean, this book is thick. It's ridiculous how long it is. And then I just start going, look at my life. What's more ridiculous? Believing in my life or believing in that Bible? Well, you got to believe in something. It's And the other question somebody asked me was, how do you believe in something that you can't see? And I bring the Santa Claus effect into that, and I said, well, listen, if the house was burning and you've seen it, you ran out of your house, okay? Your smoke alarms go off, you wake up, you run out of your house, because it happens more than you know. It's true. You run out of the house and you realize your children are still in there. Not too many times do you see somebody running back into a burning building or a house. They start yelling, "Help, my children's in there." Think about this. If they're not willing to run back into that burning building, are you going to be strong enough to survive when the end times comes? When there is no rules, just torture. Is it worth it? I might be wrong. I've heard people say, "What if you're wrong?" I'm going to show you. And then I'm ending here. Get ready. I probably didn't pick it up. I'm weak. These are all Bibles, people. Every one of them. They're falling out of my hands. Hold on. I'll take the small stack. There's still two on the bottom of that. Every one of these. Different translations. King James all the way down to the NIV. Plus the other two on the bottom. I find no wrong in any of them. But I find a lot of wrong in my life. I found a lot of wrong if I would have just picked up just one simple book and believed there was more out there. If I would have picked up as I got older and they started changing into the NIV, the Good News book, or the new NIV, which is this. You may say, well, what's the difference, Nelson? Well, it's just a lot easier to read. There's 3. King James. You see how far, and I'm not bragging, but I'm almost to the end of reading it. Other than a few pronunciations and stuff, no different than this. No different than this. No different than this. Which I really do like this one. Hold on. All the tabs. See, I've been tabbing this stuff, reading these ones, tabbing it, going back. No difference. You know what that tells me? You can't debate it. You can't disprove it. Because the things that happened then happens now. Jesus went to the cross for the things then and what's happening now. How in the world did Jesus take every sin of the world into his body, into a grave, and we didn't even have these sins yet? Oh, you can answer that question. That'll be the day that I stop being a Christian. Because you can't prove it. Because every sin is paid for by what he did, by going to the cross. And you think about it. I remember one night we were at a bonfire and we were all sitting there talking. And I walked over to her and I got sticks. And I said, here. I said, each one of you are going to lay down. We're all going to take turns and we're going to start smacking each other with these sticks. That's stupid. Every sin you do represents what Jesus did. So every time you do a sin, I want you to remember you were one that whipped Jesus that night. Makes your sins not so wanting to do them now, doesn't it? Makes it kind of hard to go and repent over and over and over for the same sin when you're smacking him and beating him more and more. Every time you sin, you're basically sending him back to that night that he was arrested and he was beaten beyond recognition. Think about it. Is that sin now worth what you're doing? Some of you don't even care. You'll be like, I don't give a crap. I'll take it at the end. I'm going to be like the Jehovah's Witness. I'm going to be like the thief on the cross. All right. But if you got to get ready for work and you're running late on Monday morning, your weekend's off, and you get up in the morning and then you're flying down the road, you know them people, speed zooming, and all of a sudden you break squat and you slam into the wall, and you wake up in hell. Well, wait a minute. Why am I here? Hold on. I got to repent real quick. Take me back out. Come on, take me back out. Oh, yeah, sure, they're going to take you back out. They're going to take you right down there, and they're going to slam you down on a table. They're going to do whatever they're going to do, and you're going to enjoy to have an ever after loving relationship with the demons. Sound fun, don't it? How many of you probably kick back in your chair right now going, dang. If I ever would have finished, I don't know if I ever will, unless God lays it on me to do it. There's things in hell that would make people vomit. And I mean literally, I almost vomited when I tried to finish the first set that I did. It's not what you there's no movie that shows truly what happens there. Every day, every second. If I was to send you, I don't care, male or female, to rip your tongue out, and you got one person standing over you, poking your eyes out, like sticking their fingernail into your eye, plucking your eye out, ripping your tongue out, and I mean literally ripping it out of your body, raping you, peeling your skin, and all this is happening at the same time. Sounds like a joy, doesn't it? No, they're just warming up. Don't take my word. Some of you're going to take my word when you get there. And guess what? You're going to remember every word that I'm telling you right now. You're going to be like, why? Why is it that I picked up all these books? I'm saved by my religion. I'm a Baptist. I'm a Catholic. I'm a Mormon. I'm a Jehovah. I'm saved by that. Well, really? Because what religion was Jesus? Religion can't save you. There's no such thing. Nowhere in the Bible does it say religion saves you. Only the blood of Jesus Christ. Only the Son of God, our true Savior, Jesus. You might want to look him up. God bless you guys. I hope to be on here. Yeah. Well, thank you. And that's this is yeah, Solomon. You're right. I'm glad. I'm glad that you're receiving from this, and I'm glad that it's helping you because honestly, uh, I want to see you in heaven. I want you because obviously, that's like I tell everybody. If you ever run into me across, if I'm ever in your state, your country, whatever, you never know where I'm going to be at from 1 minute to the next. I don't even know. But if I ever end up there, come up, just introduce yourself. What if he comes tonight? Are you ready? Because if not, hell's ready for you. Jesus went in there, paid the price, locked them gates, took your name out of there. It's like what go back when this uploads, go back and watch the beginning of this video if you didn't get it in the beginning. Think about it. That's how loving God is. Watch the beginning of this video. All right, guys. Love you. And I truly mean it. Love you. Till the next one.